I'm Matt Hagen here at the YMCA in Knoxville with Dr. Steve Smith and JJ Jackson. Now, JJ, I heard you played with the Seattle Seahawks for 1 year. What year was that?
It was from 2000, 2001.
What are some of your favorite memories of playing football?
Just flat out the competitiveness, and obviously just getting a chance to see some of your heroes, actually.
Who were some of the heroes you admired playing with the most or against?
Some of the heroes, I actually got a couple chances to meet Peyton Manning and Marvin Harrison. I also played with LaVon Kirkland, John Randall, Ricky Waters. We had so many people. We had actually the quarterback at Tennessee right now, which is, can't think of his name right now. I'm drawing a blank. But we played with a bunch of people. We had Mike Holmgren, he was there obviously. So it's just a bunch of people that I got a chance to see, and by having I had my brother, he was in the league, so I got a chance to meet with Randy Moss and people like that.
Well, that's good to hear. What have you been doing since the NFL?
Since then, right now, I've been, everybody thinks when you're done playing the NFL, you just have money, but you still have to work. So I go to work every day. I work in engineering out at Green Mountain Coffee.
That's really cool. It's glad to hear that people don't just think everything is perfect after they end the NFL or any major sports for that. People assume they have money, but it's good to hear that people are actually still doing stuff afterwards and still getting their faces out there, like playing basketball just now here at the Y. Now, Dr. Smith, what are some things you would tell people about basketball after life with financially?
Well, it goes back to when they're playing and when they're making money. They should be investing it in long-term things at the same time. For example, buying a couple franchises of maybe a Chick-fil-A or a Wendy's so they can have a steady source of income from that point on. And then if they want, they could go to school or do some non-for-profit work or whatever. But the well will run dry, so you always have to make those extra plans, which is why I always advise people I talk to that I think are going pro or close to being pro to major in maybe business or entrepreneurship so you can learn how to invest and handle your money so other people won't have to do it for you.
Well, that sounds really interesting. Well, coming up actually today, they're announcing the U.S. Olympic team for the men's basketball. Who are some players that you would like to see, Dr. Smith, on the team, and who would you like to see have to earn their way to be on the team?
Well, of course, you could almost fill the starting lineups on the Olympic team with the two teams that played in the NBA Finals. So optimistically, you could have Wade and LeBron and Durant and Westbrook out there. But I think due to injuries, they won't be able to play. So I would like to see your Blake Griffiths and Chris Pauls and those sorts of guys out there to get more experience and entertain the crowd with their high-flying antics and great passes. But I don't know. I just want to see a good competitive game. To me, personally, I don't think anybody in this generation can be as close to being as good as the first Dream Team, but we'll see.
Now, what's your opinion on that, JJ?
My opinion on it, I'll put something to rest. There is no more Dream Team. Dream Team was the first one. That's it. Now, teams after that, that's second. I mean, the Dream Team is second to none. I mean, they're the number one team that's ever been assembled, period. Now, everybody else, I mean, you have some young kids that can play. You have your Durant's, obviously, is just a flat-out superstar. You have up-and-coming players. Like, honestly, I'll be the first one to say it. I didn't think Kyrie Irving was capable of a number one draft pick, but he completely blew me away when I sat there and saw him play. Like, I was not a believer, but I'm a full believer now. I mean, you have kids like that come and play, and you also have some. I feel like you should at least kind of try to sprinkle one or two college players in there, just because you don't want to keep having to go to the NBA. You want to keep trying to make kind of like a semi-pro thing. Not even semi-pro. You want to keep your young kids have something to strive for to get to the Olympics. Like, now you feel like if you're a basketball player, you're like, well, I'm never going to get to play in the Olympics. let's not make it the NBA. Or it was not like that before. You can play in the Olympics if you were in college. I mean, it's supposed to be actually it's supposed to be an amateur sport. Period.
You know, the Olympics start in, I think it's 3 weeks, and right now, ranked in the world basketball rankings, U.S. is number 1 and Spain is number 2. Do you think it's going to be a close series all the time? Because I've heard people saying since LeBron James is going to be there, he's the best player in the world, that the U.S. should have no problem beating Spain. What do you think?
I came from a football background, so I feel like any given Sunday, any given basketball game, you can have people that are just off. You can have injuries. You have all kind of stuff. And Spain is very capable, but hopefully as far as that goes, I feel like as far as the United States, we just have a will to win because for one thing, I feel like we think this is our sport. So we should not lose in this. So that's what if I was playing, the mentality I would think we should not lose. It's just a not lose mentality that I think those guys have. Even with the Dream Team, I'm pretty sure when they went over there, they're like, listen, this is our sport. We invented this. Yes, it has branched out over to overseas areas, but you feel like, listen, we invented this sport. We should always be number 1 in the sport, just like soccer. You probably will never find the U.S. number 1 in soccer. They'll always be over in Germany and Spain and Italy because that's pretty much their sport that they invented. It just spread out over the United States.
What's your opinion on that?
I think he's absolutely right. But at the same time, I think the U.S. might struggle because it's increased ball movement in the international playing arena when it comes to basketball. And the NBA has kind of got used to dribbling and taking up a few seconds on the clock, looking for things to happen or looking for things to happen for themselves. And I've seen in the past couple of Olympics games, they've really struggled mightily with great point guards who can pass, and Rubio is that. So they're going to have to contain him, but I think that we have such a deep roster full of probably 12 of the best players in the world, and we'll be able to get by with that and our increased strength because NBA players are a lot bigger than players from overseas, so we'll wear them down over the course of a game and probably win each game by between 10 and 20 points.
Well, now we're going to switch gears to JJ's best subject, the NFL. Some of the NFL has changed their new rules now. The kickoffs are supposed to be from the 35-yard line now. What do you think that's going to do?
Me, being a kickoff return guy, a return kicks, return punts, if you're going to do that, because you have professional kickers, they're not trained to kick short. They're trained to kick the ball and pretty much make the other team have to either take a knee or you want to bring it back out and you want to stop them inside the 20. Now you're pretty much taking that away. Yes, I understand Commissioner Goodell actually trying to take some of the violence out of the game, but when I grew up, you understood once you step in between those sidelines, it's a couple of chances you take. You take a chance of getting hurt. You take a chance of being very good. Take a chance of getting knocked out, and that's just the chances you take. I mean, we've played this game for years upon years. Yes, we've had injury. We've even had a death, but as a football player, you already know that going into there. Just like when you go to work, when you go to work, you have a job to do. When you step on a football field, you have a job to do. Plain and simple.
What's your take on that?
I 100% agree. You can't start implementing rules that's going to ruin the history and integrity and structure of the game. And I don't know, I would have kept it the same for another year and really kept an eye on it to see if things were getting as out of hand as the press made it seem like they were getting last year. But you can't go around, quote-unquote, softening up the game structure because then it'll lose all of the things that has built it to become what it is today, and that's high-contact sport. So I'm on the side as JJ in the sense that I would have left it alone. But at the same time, from the mechanics of the sport, I understand that you are having bigger, stronger, faster players, and the hits are starting to become hits that will really seriously injure you if you, like, for example, catch the ball up here and somebody gets you in the ribs. So I don't know. I don't have enough experience in football to give you a definite answer, but I just hope they don't switch the game into something that we can't recognize or won't enjoy watching. And like you said, you take the risk.
Piggyback off of that. You can look into taking certain things out of the sport, yeah, but it seems like just because in the rap past 2 years, they've only just started to update the helmets, put new pads in the helmets, put new pads in the shoulder pads. They've only just recently done that. So won't we give them a chance, like the scientists, a chance to update that stuff? Maybe that takes away the concussions, the impact of all the hits. But plain and simple, I mean, football is football. It's a violent sport. You know exactly what you get when you go out there.